Listen, wasn't it Kanye West who said, even if you in a plane? That's the old Kanye. He knew he cannot buy white privilege. This is the new Ye. He believes he can just moonwalk back into the mainstream and people will just forget everything. Except this is not Men in Black. This is Men in White. And the white privilege is the real neuralizer. Like listen, Kanye can outsell Kid Rock, but Kid Rock will not be dropped by Pepsi. No matter what he says about black people. Rappers these days move like politicians. And Kanye's concert at the SoFi Stadium was a show of power. It had all the makings of a political rally. A huge turnout and a lot of familiar faces. Lauryn Hill was on time, co-signing Ye's comeback. Does Dave Chappelle not know that Kanye West is beefing with Jay-Z? Because why was he in the crowd? Relax, okay? It looks crazy. Dave Chappelle inducted Jay-Z in the Hall of Fame, and at the time Jay-Z was defending Chappelle and his transphobia. Dave Chappelle at the Kanye show was as bad as LeBron at the pop-out. I guess there are no friends in the industry because Kanye was trying to step on Jay-Z's Yankee Nights with the Wireless Festival. Does Rock Nation have a branch in the UK? And is Keir Starmer managed by it? Starmer's gotta be a bigger Jay-Z fan than B-Dog, who's been coming up with these bizarre permutations and combinations to hand Jay-Z a W against Kanye in a versus battle. The only way Jay-Z's winning a versus battle against Kanye West is if you cut off Kanye's microphone. And that's exactly what Starmer did. He pulled the plug. Rap fans are overly forgiving, but the UK is not, especially when it comes to anti-Semitism. Now there's levels to anti-Semitism too. While Jay-Z, Rick Ross sit at the very bottom, Kanye sits at the very top with someone like Nick Fuentes. Yes, Kanye West cannot be cancelled, but now he belongs in the same bracket as Chris Brown and Diddy and maybe R. Kelly. You know, these supervillains of hip-hop.
Is my favorite category.
I guess we shouldn't kick them when they're down, right, J. Cole?
Boom, boom.
Do you know what else is down, J. Cole?
That's a good question.
Rap has fallen off the charts without Drake. The last hit wasn't off the fall off or on Keem's album. It was this.
What did I miss?
Yo, people were convinced that Jermaine doesn't need Drake for a #1 record.
How do you think first person shooting went #1? If you think first person shooting Drake's verse,
Just saying,
would it have went #1 if Cole wasn't on it? If his verse wasn't? It wouldn't have.
Listen, the fall off had 30 songs. None of them cracked the top 10. He even tried Drake's Recipe, Future Attempts. That has #1 written all over it. But with Jermaine, you're stuck in 30s. Forget about #1s. Fans are pressing TDE Punch. Like, why is rap struggling right now? In the K-Dot era. And he responded like a child. So what if people lose their jobs? Like these three.
Drake not being great hurts. It hurts the ecosystem. They ain't making as much money as they would normally make.
And some are begging for their severance.
Owe us money. They owe us a lot of money and they don't want to pay us.
Drake called Elliot a rat. And even Elliot is disappointed in the Dot era. In all honesty, Kendrick tried a feature run. It didn't work. And TDE Punch is delusional. He believes Kendrick has been the king of rap for a decade now. Gang, this might only be true for the Grammy committee, but we're talking Billboard, where the big boys play. There's only 5 rappers who've been running the charts front and back for over a decade. And there is no Kendrick on the list. There's Drake! The only thing that Kendrick has consistently done for the past decade is robbed other rappers of Grammy Awards.
I was supposed to win that Grammy of the year.
Fetty Wap deserved to win at least 1 Grammy in 2016, but they gave 5 to Kendrick instead because Kendrick is the safer option. Most YouTubers had their pom-poms on for Kendrick Lamar during the battle because that's the safer option, but they listen to more Drake than Kendrick, but not in public, because if you do so, you will be dragged, and the OVO fans will drag you from Mississauga to UK. And that's what happened to Joe Denton, who was loud and proud Team Kendrick during the battle. Even his wife hates Drake, but now that the sun is out, he wants to have a Drake day. There's a lack of common sense here. You call yourself a Drake hater, you find Kendrick wishing death on Drake amusing, and now you're mad that Drake fans are holding you accountable? Is this not you smiling ear to ear at Drake's funeral? And now that the Drake hate is dying out, you want to switch sides? Listen, I don't think the Romans were invited to Easter. It's like watching a man throw a foam party in the same well that he poisoned. Drake has the same effect on hip-hop media as Tupac had on rap magazines. Rap fans were flocking to buy these magazines to read about Pac. Vibe magazine even said that they could have put Tupac on the cover story every single month and it would have sold. And Drake has the same effect on podcasts and YouTube. Remember when they were complaining that Drake drops too much music in order to stay relevant? And even T-Pain joined the chorus.
Drake is like, no, Oh, listen. Okay, I got another one. Oh, check this out.
And today he has 10 albums charting, with the oldest one being Thank Me Later that came out in 2010. But somehow even that is weird. You talk about Drake and you get more views. Except the more critical you are, the more views you'll get. And Charlemagne was early to that party. Saying something vile about Drake has almost become a rite of passage for a lot of these YouTubers. And now Ebro, who's been gunning for Charlemagne's spot as Drake's #1 hater, finds himself also competing with these YouTubers who can say almost anything and face no consequences because they're not part of the hip-hop media. But Ebro is. Even if he doesn't respect his own opinion, it does carry some weight. Ebro believes that Drizzy Drake Rogers is tweaking the algorithm in his favor, so the OVO defenders can flood Ebro's timeline.
Anybody that got beef with academics, Drake, watch how the algorithm moves against them.
Was this during the beef or was it after you got fired? Yo, there is a simple math behind this line of thinking. You take an unemployed mind and add a lot of free time on the internet. What that gives you is confirmation bias. After 13 long years of fucking around as a gatekeeper of hip-hop, now you're in the finding out phase. He's having a hard time booking guests because these rappers, they didn't respect you, they respected the program director of Hot 97. That's why they're leaving your ass on red. That is the reason Ebro has to lean into these TikTok level conspiracy theories. Again, because he's competing with a whole new ecosystem built around bashing Drake. And if Drake responds, he'll have content for months. Hopefully until then, Hot 97 finally takes Ebro back. Because Ebro's replacement sucks. That guy fucking stinks. Breakfast Club, their biggest competitor, is not even on YouTube anymore. But Hot 97's views are still in the shitter. Look at their thumbnails. Ugly. Like, he was hyping up a dead sweatshirt. That freestyle was ass.
Okay.
And somehow Miro is the most embarrassing thing about this clip.
I was about to say you trying to do the ad-libs.
Either roast him or shut the fuck up. This is why legacy media is dying. Because these guys are too damn scared to call a spade a goddamn spade. Yo, who signed off on this thumbnail?
Let's go, baby.
He's always screaming. Even when he's typing, he's screaming. Look at that. All caps. Listen, maybe sweatshirt is more comfortable rapping in front of, you know, a green screen.
I ain't rapping in front of no green screen.
So now it's okay for Drake to sue, right?
But you have people like Drake who's talking about stabbing people, shooting people, raping women.
Is it because these false allegations are not synced to a mustard beat? Because this is equally as bad as Not Like Us. If you think it's okay for Drake to sue GB News, he should definitely go after Universal. I don't think this rat-faced Brit listens to rap music because I thought she was talking about Jay-Z.
Raping, pillaging village women and children.
Women and what?
Women and children.
Yo, what shit was Jay-Z on in 2009?
Africa been by the shit.
Listen, wasn't One Trick Kenny claiming the embassy getting raided? Why didn't you raid the Bronx? Weren't you in New York? That's where the real demon was, with real victims. And your mentor, your god, was shouting him out. Why was Jay-Z shouting out Africa Bambaataa in 2009? Did he not know? Because apparently it was an open secret since the 1980s.
It's not like it was something that was unknown. Maybe hip-hop's best kept secret or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
But Jay-Z is a businessman. He doesn't have time for these secrets. Because why else would he be shouting out a PDF on a hit record for? Sean Carter doesn't mess with PDFs. Okay, anymore. He's moved on to better things, like helping DJ Khaled with his album rollout, because the last one did not go as planned. Drake killed that entire album rollout with one comment. Listen, the new Khaled single is DOA. That's not the name, that's the status. Future looks old, Lil Baby sounds tired, and they both are out of form. Plus Gucci stepped on your release. People take the stand, but Gucci, man, he took the booth. Khaled's entire album rollout was centered around
Who Drake songs on it, okay, too.
And Drake publicly rejected this claim with a comment saying it must be Drake Bell. Now Khaled is back with Future and Lil Baby, and Jay-Z approves, so you know it's trash. I'll have to disagree with Lil Baby. This is not one of the ones. Even the music video feels like every other Kid Art music video. At least this time around he has a fill light and you can see people's faces. Well, in some shots. There's always close-up of lights, but these lights are never facing the actual artist. Like, why the fuck is everyone lit like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys? Look, even the title is missing a fill light. And also there's unnecessary amount of bad CG. Like, who wants to see DJ Khaled fight or fall off the fucking roof? It's not bad, but it's not one of them ones. But if this video is one of the ones, subscribe, dial in. This is Dial Up TV.
Because it wasn't Drake's verse.